Hey guys, and welcome to the FitPro Social with me, David Kyle.
And me, Ash Burley.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another FitPro Social live stream. Or if you're watching this or listening to this further down the line, not so live stream. But yeah, welcome to a brand new one. Ash, how was everything?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, really good. It's been a good week, busy week. Had loads of cool stuff happen within the business this week, which is great. So yeah, I'm all good. What about you? Your background looks a little bit different today.
Yeah, this week I'm actually back in North Wales at my grandparents' house. Like you say, because of the work we both do, we're kind of on the go all the time. So back to Southampton on the weekend, then I head to Belfast to meet a client next week, and then back, and then we've got an event hopefully coming out in the next couple of days that we were hoping to announce. So that's coming up as well. So yeah, every time we do this, everyone's going to realize that me and Ash might be in a different place every time we do it. But that's one of the good things about what we want to do. And it might be a good thing to kind of talk about a little bit about how we do this in this episode today.
Yeah, definitely. I think today's episode, if anyone's wondering and they haven't seen the title that's around us, it's really about how much time do you actually spend on your business. And as Dave was just saying there, you can probably gather we do travel around. We spend a lot of time actually on our business and doing things to progress our business forward. And I think today's episode will be good just to chat about, I think, three things really. What are the three key things that businesses need to work on, or what you should work on in your business, and how to identify ones that maybe are your weaknesses and how you can improve on those. And also just a way of thinking about your business. And we keep saying business here all the time. And I think something I really want to start with is understanding that as personal trainers, that we are business owners first. And this is something I think is missed quite a bit within the industry. And I know why. When we become personal trainers, we want to do it because we want to help people, want to coach people, we enjoy working out and things like that. We've had great experiences ourselves through fitness and health and things. And so we become a personal trainer. What we don't tend to realize is that in order to become successful as a personal trainer, you generally have to run your own business, either that being self-employed, or if you want to go further, maybe own a studio or a gym or doing something online. And when you do that, you have to change the way you think. You have to start thinking more like a business owner that offers personal training as a service. And that, to me, I think that's the kind of thing we should be talking about today, and what the key things you should be thinking about within your business. So, yeah, I mean, David, from your point of view, what would you say are the top three things to work on?
I think the word personal is what makes it difficult, because the word personal means you've got a close relationship, your friends, you know your client inside out, which causes the issue around business, and business is money. Like, you can't do anything without money. Like, it would be better to go and work for somebody else to earn that money. So if you're loving training your clients, you're loving the job and everything, you're loving everything you do, but you're not getting paid, then it's not a business. It's not going to go anywhere. You're going to go into financial difficulty. You'll then have to let those people down because you can't train them, because you have the money, because you've got to go and get a job. So the word business is super important. And I'll take you back now a couple of years. I think we talked about this the other week when I first decided I needed to have a holiday. So I'd been working in the business, non-stop in the business, wake up. First session day was always 6:30 a.m. So I'd wake up about 10 to 6, press snooze, about 10 past 6, jump out of bed quickly, drive down, tired, coach till about 11:30, get home, have some lunch, probably have an hour's sleep, play around with social media, maybe do a post or watch some YouTube, or just like, I deserve this rest because I've worked so hard this morning. 3:00 arrives, jump back in the car, head back down to the gym I was working out of. 3:30 comes, all the way till 10:30 at night, get home, super tired, eat some rubbish food, watch a bit of TV, back to bed, and then you do it again. And it was again and again and again and again and again. And like you say, I was kind of stuck. I'd done what I needed to do to get to that point, and then I took my eye off the ball. I was just doing that same thing over and over again, which means I was working in the business, I was coaching clients, I was keeping them happy, getting them results, but I wasn't figuring out what I was going to do with the business because I wasn't working on the business. So I think we've probably all been in that situation, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Groundhog Day. It really is like Groundhog Day sometimes. I think and I don't know about you, but I've got to a point before when that's happened where you kind of just I just don't want to anymore. Like, is this what my life is going to be like for the
Yeah.
next 40 years? And I think there's always going to be a point where that happens, and sometimes you might love it, you might absolutely enjoy it, and that's completely fine. Like David said there, there's nothing actually wrong with saying I don't want to run a business. Like, it's fine. Like, you can do that. It's more difficult to get employed as a PT these days. There's not many opportunities really to get employed. There are some, but it's not like, I suppose, many other careers that you might go and train for. But there are definitely some places where you can be employed as a PT, and there's nothing wrong with going down that route if you really want to. But it does become a bit of a Groundhog Day, and unless you actually start breaking that cycle and start looking at it like a business and spending time working on your business as well as in your business, you're never going to get out of that, because effectively all you are is an employee to yourself, and you're not able to take it anywhere. And I can always remember, I mean, I've talked about my dad a few times on this. He had a lot to do with me getting into business in the first place. And he always used to say to me, like, you need to have thinking time. You need to have time out of the nitty gritty of actually doing the stuff that you do in order to make the business move. Like, you've got to spend time thinking ahead, planning ahead, and looking on what key areas of your business need work, and key areas of your business you need to make sure hitting certain criteria or KPIs or whatever you want to call it. And you have to find time to go and focus on those different things. I mean, for anyone listening here, if you find yourself in this situation, if you feel that you are going through a bit of a Groundhog Day all the time, or if you can relate to anything that, either as I said, when it comes to this long hours, these long days, just let us know in the comments. Let us know your experience as well. This is obviously the FitPro Social. It's about being social. It's about hearing about your experiences. So please do share those in the comments with us as we go through this. So Dave, when you're in that position there where you're kind of living this Groundhog Day, what happened? What changed? What changed, making you go from, okay, this is my life, to I don't want it like this anymore?
Hey, it's going to pause it there for literally 2 seconds. If you're loving this week's episode, please let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. The more people we can get subscribing, the bigger guests we can get, and the more people we can help with the content being shared. Anyway, let's dive back into today's episode. Yeah, so like you say, because I wasn't focused on the business, I was focused in the business. And I was focused on my personal life, if that makes sense. So I worked Monday all day, Tuesday all day, Wednesday all day. Thursday night I had football training, so that was programmed in. So I would work up till about 5. I think I finished at 5:30, go home, get changed, go to football training. Work all day Friday, work Saturday mornings, then football training. And that was it consistently. And then you'd see all these people on social media, your FitPro friends, people that own gyms that are the personal trainers. They're on holiday. Bloody hell, how do they manage to go on holiday? That person's on holiday again. They must go on more holidays than Ash, this person. And you're just like, how is this person, or how are these people managing to be personal trainers, fit pros, and go on these holidays? And that's when me and Holly kind of had that kind of like light bulb moment where like, something needs to change. We need to be going on our first holiday. We've been together like 4 or 5 years at that point. We'd never been on a holiday because all we did was work. And I mean, hard work is good. We all need to work hard, but there's working hard on the right things, and there's working hard on the not so correct things. And that's where a lot of us get sucked into. We always work hard on the things that are not really going to move that needle.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically forced ourselves into a hole because we had good money, because we were working all these hours. We weren't spending any beyond the business. We weren't going anywhere. We weren't doing anything. So we had this good chunk of money. So we were like, let's just force ourselves into the hole. And we booked Thailand, and that's where it all changed. We booked Thailand. We had about 6 months to go. We set ourselves 6 months. So then because it was more personal to us, and I think that's where it comes down to. When it's personal, we booked this holiday, we spent this money, it was personal. We wanted to make this trip to Thailand. I think we 5 or 6 weeks we'd booked. We wanted to make it really special and enjoyable. So we'd bought all these books. So every time we weren't in a session, we were then reading, where do we go? How do we travel? What bus do we catch? What train do we catch? What flight do we catch? What hotel do we stay in? It was them mapping all that out. But then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm away for 5 or 6 weeks. Who's going to look after the clients? And that's where it finally clicked. I need to find somebody. Somebody needs to be doing these sessions. Someone needs to be doing the marketing. Someone needs to be doing the consultations when I step away. And that's where I finally started to learn I need to look and work on the actual business. You know, I mean, hundreds of people have probably told me this before. I'd read posts, I'd read books, mentors have told me, you need to work on the business, you work on the business. But it wasn't until something just had to click. And when that thing did, that's when things, well, like you say, dramatically changed, to opening my first studio, to now selling a studio, to now having all the staff and helping all these clients and everything like that. Like, there is going to be a moment where something either something changes in your mind and like, I'm going to work on the business, or the worst thing happens. You think, I've had enough. I just can't be bothered anymore. I'm stepping away.
Yeah. I think that in reality is something that will happen. The job itself, if you like, is quite demanding. I think whichever way you look at it, if you are successful in it in terms of like you've got lots of clients, you're working a lot, it is long hours, some sociable hours, it makes it difficult. You don't earn if you're not doing it as well. And I think you're always going to be at that point until you decide to look at this as a business, and those things change. And like I say, I either think you're going to go one way or the other way. You either leave, which lots of people do in the industry, or you say, actually, I'm going to double down on myself. I'm going to double down on me, and I'm going to actually get it so I can have a business that's going to support me and my goals. And I think an interesting thing you mentioned there, when you was talking about going on holiday and the planning and stuff like that, and that kind of that enjoyment of doing all this and how it was personal to you, I think that's an important thing to remember no matter what you do, because I'm a big believer in anything, money or business, doesn't matter. It's what you get those things for. Your business and the money that you earn from it are just tools. That's all they are. On their own, like in itself, you can have a cash of £1 million on the table, but if you don't do anything with it, it's going to do absolutely nothing for you to benefit you. All money does is help you achieve the things you want to achieve. And if you're having a life, let's say you're working as a PT, doing this kind of Groundhog Day, and the things you want to do in your life might be to start a family, it might be to go traveling, it might be to do whatever it is you want to do. But if you realize that, yes, I can make all the money in the world working 12, 13 hours a day, but I can't take any time off, you're not going to be able to achieve the things you want. And that's, I think, the process a lot of people tend to go through. Eventually switches going, well, actually, if I want to go and do these things, if I want to enjoy traveling, visit these places, have a family, spend time with my children, spend time with my wife or partner or whatever, then a change needs to happen. And that's when I think that the switch tends to go for a lot of people. It did for me anyway, personally.
Because the perfect example is clients. You know what I mean? How many clients have we all had where they've come, they said they want to change, they give you their money, they've trained, but nothing's changed. They've lost no weight, and you've got the ones that have gained weight, and it's just like, and we're all like frustrated, like, why are they not changing? And it's kind of the same for us. What's the saying goes, once the pain is greater to stay the same than what it is to change, or have I got that the one way around? Then you'll finally
like
make that change.
when the pain of staying where you are is greater than the pain of changing, or something like that, isn't it?
Is that what it? Yeah, it's one way or the other, I think. But we all need to be in that position. But then at the same time, something I was thinking, like, all my best thoughts always come in the two worst places, either when I'm driving or when I'm in the shower. Neither place where I can write anything down. And that's thinking to myself earlier, because I almost trying to think a new post to write about, and I was thinking about, the saying goes, like, you are the average of the 4 or 5 people that you spend most of your time with. So if you're, no offense to people that you love and cherish and stuff, but if you're hanging out with people who are just like, oh, let's just go to the pub today, or don't worry about that. I mean, social media will be there tomorrow, your email list will be there tomorrow, or your client retention strategy will still be there tomorrow. Let's go and do something else instead. Maybe we're just hanging out with the wrong people, and that again is affecting you from working on your business. So your social circle, the people that you spend the most time with, are they motivating you? Are they proactively supporting you and encouraging you to actually make those changes? So if you listen to the FitPro Social every week, then hopefully me and Ash are part of your influence circle, and we're motivating you. But if you've got other people who are distracting, pulling you down, stopping you, then maybe you need to have a conversation with them. But I think maybe that's another podcast again.
Yeah, there's definitely ways to do that as well with people without being too offensive to them. Definitely. I'll tell you what, an interesting thing to go through, and I agree completely with that. I think the circles you surround yourself in are really important. In fact, last week when we was talking about should you hire a mentor or not, we brought up the idea of masterminds. That's one of the reasons I love masterminds so much, is because you surround yourself with like-minded people who are kind of pulling you in the right direction. So yeah, that's why I love them. It's one of the reasons why we're starting to put one together for the FitPro Social as well. So obviously we don't want to try and keep these things going on for too long. We always try and keep them around to like 20, 30 minutes or so. I think we've talked a lot about why you should be wanting to work on your business. But let's look at some practical advice here. Like, we're coaches at the end of the day by trade, and it's all fine us just sharing information with everyone that's listening. Let's try and give you some practical advice here, some things you can maybe go and focus on. And obviously, there's lots of different things, there's lots of different nuances and elements around running a business, and like I said, different nuances for different types of businesses and what your goals are. But for me, and I think for you as well, Dave, there's 3 fundamental areas that you tend to really want to spend time focusing on your business. So if you just think about making this shift, I think one thing is really looking at is lead generation. Definitely want to be looking at how you can bring leads in. Another thing I like to look, I think retention is important as well, because leads, when you bring leads in, that's fine, but keeping clients is much easier. So you want to really look at the retention, which can include things like fulfillment and stuff like that. And then also looking at things like your sales processes as well, I think are quite important when it comes to doing it. If you can look at those kind of 3 key areas to start off with when working on your business, I generally think you're going to be on the right path. Are there any other areas you think people could look at as well?
Hey, just going to pause it there really quickly. If you know any guests that would love to feature, or if you yourself would like to feature on one of these episodes, do let us know by reaching out or letting us know in the comments. Anyway, let's get back into the episode. Yeah, it's a weird one because everyone calls it a vehicle. Like, the business is the vehicle to get you to your end destination or the place that you want to be in. So like, if I want to go down to the shops, I'm going to jump on a bus, which is going to take ages. I could jump on my bike, which is going to maybe take even longer. I could walk, jump in the car, I could fly. There's loads of different ways to get there. And I think if we don't have that, not end destination, it's like if we don't have a place where we want to be in sight, in our focuses, on our mind all the time, then the 3 things that Ash talked about there and working on your bit, nothing's going to change. And that's why first, when we said when we booked that trip to Thailand, we had an end destination. We needed to make sure the business was still going to be there when we get back from Thailand. So I think the 2 things that most people need to have as an end destination is going to be time. Like, how much time do you want to have to spend with your family, your friends, doing the things that you love doing? And obviously finances. How much money do you need then to be able to make all that additional stuff happen? So if you want to move out from a 1-bedroom flat into a 2-bedroom house, what is that going to cost you? How much money do you need for that? If you're wanting to buy a new car, because all I've ever bought is a 2nd, 3rd, 4th-hand cab, I want to buy my first proper brand new car. How much is that going to cost you? Once you know your time requirements and your financial requirements, you then have to like work backwards then on your sales, your lead gen, your sales, and your retention in order to come up with, again, it gets so weird with a business plan, which everyone always says to you that you need to come up with. But you do need a business plan. You don't need to create the boring, long 50 pages with diagrams and all that type of stuff. You just need to understand. You just need to understand how much money you need to make, how much time you need to have off, and then what is it going to take to be able to provide that to you.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, one of the things we do, if people don't know, one of the companies that I run is called the Online Personal Training Certification for PTs that want to go online. And part of that is the business side of it, because there's some business differences when it comes to working online. You have to spend more time on the business than what you may be able to do if you're kind of working person in a box gym or something like that. And the first thing we do on there is get that clarity around what your actual end goals are, because if you don't know what your end goal is, you don't know how much time or how much money you need to go and achieve that. And what I find really interesting is when you speak to a lot of people, they'll say, actually, what do you want to do? I want to get 10 grand a month, or I want to do 100 grand a year, or whatever it is. It's normally that kind of figure, the elusive 10 grand a month or whatever. And I find that really interesting, because like, how do you know you need 10 grand a month to achieve this? You don't know what you want to achieve yet. You might need 8, you might need 20. Like, you don't know. So someone telling you, let's go and earn 10 grand a month, to me makes no sense, because they have no idea that you need that. And at the moment, you don't have any idea that you need that. You need to have a plan to figure out. Okay,
Can I just drop in there something? Can I just jump in there quickly? If you say you need 10 grand a month, when you get to 10 grand a month, I can guarantee it's going to cost you 12, 13, 14, 15 grand a month. It's not, this is not a bragging thing, but the more money you earn, the more your expenses always tend to be, if that makes sense. And I'm guessing everybody who's experienced that will be like, oh my God, that makes total sense. Like, we went from living in the gym where we had no money to a 1-bedroom flat where, again, we don't have any money, to now we've got a 4-bedroom house where we've got a decent amount of money. And all those stages, as the income increases, so as the rent living in the gym was 0, then we moved into a 1-bedroom flat, which cost just less than £1,000, to this one now, which costs just more than £1,000. So as you earn more, your cost is going to go up as well. So if you just set aside of 10k, know that when you get to 10k, your income probably needs to be a little bit higher again, because the just lifestyle choice, everything you do is going to cost more. But that's why we do these things. We want to grow a business because the business is supposed to provide the things that we want it to provide.
Yeah, 100%. And I think one thing we'll do for another episode is maybe talk a bit about that, because I think sometimes having these end targets like 10 grand, 20 grand, it sounds really good. Like, we have a client of ours that I'll not say who his name is, because he'd probably shout at me if I said who his name was. But I spoke to him the other day. We're doing a job for him, and his revenue last month for online programs was 269,000 for that month. And you might think, wow, that's amazing. He's made like $250,000 a month, and that's his average per month. But I also know what his expenses are per month. So you might be making that amount of money, but the actual costs to make that, what he has to invest, and I suppose the exposure as well, because you have to bear in mind those costs, his staff, his team, his advertising, everything, that's going out of his bank, whether he makes that money or not. And I think that's the important thing to remember. And I think it might be an interesting episode to talk about. Yeah, I think that'd be a good episode to go and talk about, like, how that actually works and what goes off up here when you have to take those risks as well. But yeah, I think that's cool. I mean, I think that pretty much goes through pretty well. We've been on here for a good 20 minutes or so. And hopefully you've taken some things away from watching this about why you should be looking at working on your business. If you feel like you're stuck in Groundhog Day, maybe just take some time to step back, really think about what it is you want to achieve from your actual business, then try and work out what you need money-wise and time-wise to go and do that. And then once you've done that, put a plan together, at least for these 3 areas, which is your lead generation, so bringing new leads into your business, sales, how you're actually going to convert those into paying clients, and then retention, how you're actually going to fulfill your services to retain the clients for as long as possible and keep making recurring revenue from them. I think if you do that, and if that's the only thing you take away from this episode, then I think you'll be on a great starting block to do well with your business.
Nice. Cheers. So yeah, if anybody's wants to jump on one of these episodes, do reach out and let us know, and we definitely get you on. So again, the FitPro Social is all about having conversations maybe that are not talked about so often as well. Or if you like some of the stuff that we're talking about and you want to talk to me and Ash more separately, then do feel free to reach out and DM us. But do know we often take a couple of days to reply to most messages that come in.
We do get a lot of messages through, so we will get back to you.
But no, we appreciate everyone listening. Yeah. No, that's fine. Cool. Or it'll be Holly or Sarah that will reply as well.
Yeah, one of the two. Someone will do it. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this episode. We'll be back next week with a new episode. And as always, feel free to reach out, get in touch, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the FitPro Social. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes.